Welcome back to the Team to Beat Miami Heat basketball channel. The Miami Heat on Saturday night cruised to a 121-99 Game 3 victory against the Milwaukee Bucks in Miami to take a 2-1 series lead. Wonderful game, wonderful outcome. Of course, going up 2-1 is huge as the 8th seed, but this victory was definitely bittersweet as Victor Oladipo came away with a severe injury in the fourth quarter of the game. Victor Oladipo slipped in the closing minutes of that game in the fourth quarter and immediately began grabbing at his left knee. A stretcher was brought in, but Oladipo waved it off and instead limped back to the locker room with the assistance of a few of his teammates. On Sunday, however, the Miami Heat announced that Oladipo had suffered a torn patellar tendon in his left knee, and he will miss the remainder of the postseason. So the injury again occurred when Oladipo drove to the basket with just under 4 minutes remaining in a game that was a blowout. He drove to the basket, blew past Bobby Portis, and as he planted his left knee, he immediately fell forward and crumbled, to the ground. And, almost immediately, I think Depot knew the severity of the injury when, Caleb Martin came to check on him to see if he was okay, as well as Duncan Robinson, and he just shook his head no and waved to the medical staff. So it's just tough circumstances for Victor Oladipo, like just devastating, tragic injury for someone who's gone through this multiple times over the past 4 years. So, you just feel horrible for the trajectory of Oladipo's career. It's hard to see someone, rehab, for multiple years and has made multiple comebacks from knee injuries for this to happen, 3 times, again, within a 4-year time span. It's horrible. Oladipo missed basically all but 8 games last season due to a quad tear that he had in the 2021 season. And that was only after playing with the Heat for 4 games after getting traded to the Miami Heat. And that was against the Los Angeles Lakers, where he went up for a dunk, landed, and tore his quad tendon. So played 4 games in this first season with the Miami Heat, and then again had to rehab and missed pretty much almost the entire season last year. He played 19 regular season games, came back for the playoffs, had a lot of rust, but he showed a lot of promise. He single-handedly won a game for the Miami Heat against the Atlanta Hawks last year in the first round of the playoffs when Jimmy Butler was out, scoring, I believe, 23 or 24 points to lead the Miami Heat. So he showed glimpses of his former all-star self, being a top 2-way player. Offense has been shaky over the years and has been rusty, but last year, he got into the rotation after missing almost the entire year last year. So tough to see him go down again with another injury like this. Oladipo was playing pretty well, in the playoffs, and in his few games that he got to play, he was averaging 11 points in just under 19 minutes. He was going to play a bigger role in this series once Tyler Hero in Game 1 broke his hand and is out for the playoffs as well, as the backup shooting guard and our only other viable 2 guard off the bench. So again, devastating, tragic. Victor Oladipo, had such a promising career, was a top 4 pick with the Magic, and had a kind of slow start to his career the first few years, but then elevated his game, became an amazing 2-way player, and was a back-to-back all-star until 2018 when he was with the Pacers and he had his first quad injury, and then had surgery, but apparently that surgery was botched, and then got hurt again once he joined the Miami Heat. So Victor Oladipo is now in that category of, the Derrick Roses, the Brandon Roys, the Greg Odens of the what if, like what if this player never got injured, right? So like his body has just simply been failing him over the years, and you can't not feel bad for him. He did sign a 2-year option with the Miami Heat last year, so he does have an option to sign for a 1-year, $9 million deal. So he could possibly come back at the end of next year. At this point, I'm not sure what the recovery time is for this. I'm assuming it's at least 9 months. But he could be back, assuming he resigns with the Heat next year. Could be back for the Heat's playoff run next year. So just wishing the best for Victor, hoping he's okay mentally, and just hoping for a quick rehab. So thanks again for watching the video. Have a good one, guys.